The Master Key System, written by Charles Honnell, read and explained by Michelle Johnson. In this recording, I will read F.H. Burgess's introduction through, then I'll go back and give explanations and pose questions readers should think about. I strongly recommend you have a journal ready to write down your thoughts and answers to questions. I hope you enjoy. Now let's get started. Introduction. Nature compels us all to move through life. We cannot remain stationary however much we wished. Every right-thinking person wants not merely to move through life like a sound-producing, perambulating plant, but to develop, improve, and to continue the development mentally to the close of physical life. This development can occur only through the improvement of the quality of the individual thoughts and the ideals, actions, and conditions that arise as a consequence. Hence, a study of the creative processes of thought and how to apply them is of supreme importance to each one of us. This knowledge is the means whereby the evolution of human life on earth may be hastened and uplifted in the process. Humanity ardently seeks the truth and explores every avenue to it. In this process, it has produced a special literature which ranges the whole gamut of thought from the trivial to the sublime, up from divination through all the philosophies to the final lofty truth of the Master Key. The Master Key is here given to the world as a means of tapping the great cosmic intelligence and attracting from it that which corresponds to the ambitions and aspirations of each reader. Everything and institution we see around us, created by human agency, had first to exist as a thought in some human mind. Thought, therefore, is constructive. Human thought is the spiritual power of the cosmos, operating through its creature, man. The Master Key instructs the reader how to use that power, and use it both constructively and creatively. The things and conditions we desire to become realities, we must first create in thought. The Master Key explains and guides the process. The Master Key teaching has hitherto been published in the form of a correspondence course of 24 lessons, delivered to students 1 per week for 24 weeks. The reader who now receives the whole 24 parts at one time is warned not to attempt to read the book like a novel, but to read it like a course of study and consciously to imbibe the meaning of each part, reading and rereading one part only per week before proceeding to the next. Otherwise, the later parts will tend to be misunderstood and the reader's time and money will be wasted. Used as thus instructed, the Master Key will make of the reader a greater, better personality and equipped with the new power to achieve any worthy personal power and a new ability to enjoy life's beauty and wonder. This was written by F.H. Burgess. Okay, so here is where I explain what F.H. Burgess means, or I'm gonna dive a little deeper and get more into details about what these things could mean to you and how they relate to your life when it comes to certain things. So I'm going to break down each sentence if it needs be. If it's very clear, I'm just gonna leave it be. If I can dig deeper and give you more meat and just see where I could pull more things from it, I'm gonna do that. And I'm just going to explain everything from my understanding of how this is, and I'm just going to give you as much as I can. Also, I'm going to ask you when I pose certain questions for you to pause the video and actually write. I want you to take out a journal, and write down your thoughts, because this book is basically a course. So you're supposed to be learning and understanding and growing, as you read and as you listen if you're listening to this, obviously you're listening to this, but when you're listening to this, I want you to actually think. If you're in the middle of listening to it and you actually have to pause it and write it down, please do that. Write down anything that comes to mind, because this is about you understanding your own thoughts, your own how everything, all of this works and applies to your life. This is basically a self-help book. So I want you to literally sit down and think about yourself and help yourself help him help you, and help me help you by writing these questions down, by thinking deeper, and by really applying the understanding of the information to your life. So I'm just going to dig right into it, and I'm going to start with the introduction. So it says, nature compels us all to move through life. We could not remain stationary however much we wished. So basically, to me, this is saying that we have to move. Doesn't matter if you're a couch potato, you gotta go and you gotta move, you gotta push the buttons to the remote. If you are rich and you don't have to really move that much, and you just want to sit around and you want to have your servants to do everything for you, they want to cook, they gotta clean, they even turn the channel for you. You have to talk. You have to tell them what channel to turn to. You know what I'm saying? You have to tell them what you want, what you like, and what you need. And you know what I'm saying? You have to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're a paraplegic, your internal system, your body, your heart, your breathing is a movement. You have to move. Nature compels you to move through life. So you have to move no matter what your condition in life is, whether you are almost at the very slight amount of movement where you're a paraplegic, or whether you just choose to not move very much. You have to move no matter what. So life is pushing you to move. No matter how much you want to not move, you have to move. So it also goes on to say that every right-thinking person wants not merely to move through life like a sound-producing, perambulating plant, but to develop, to improve, and to continue the development mentally to the close of physical life. This is saying that every person, if you're in your right mind, you want to grow. That's basically what this is saying. You want to grow. You want to improve. You don't want to just be, at the same place where you want to be, working the same job and doing the same stuff and never growing, never learning. That's going to be kind of boring, and you're not going to be as happy as you could be. Some people say they're happy when they work a 9-to-5 job that they've been working 40 years, and because they can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. But deep down inside, like when you really, really talk to these people, they are not that happy. You know what I'm saying? Like most people want to move. Most people want to grow. Most people want to expand their knowledge. Like, okay, even if you are working that 9-to-5 job where you're doing the same thing every day at that job, in other parts of your life, it's not going to be the same. You're going to want some kind of variety. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, usually those people that have like those super mundane jobs, or like those jobs where they don't really have much growth, or even if they're in their life, they have a lot of regret. They're regretful. They don't want to talk about certain things. They're always pessimistic. You ever notice that? You know what I'm saying? So just everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to improve. So further, it says this development can occur only through the improvement of the quality of the individual thoughts and the ideals, actions, and conditions that arise as a consequence. So this is where I want you to start asking yourself some questions. It says the development can occur only through the improvement of the quality of the individual thoughts and ideals, actions, and conditions that arise as a consequence. So what are your thoughts? What do you think on a daily basis? Like, seriously, I know we think like 20, 30, 50,000 thoughts, however many they say we do. We think all these thoughts every day. So what are your thoughts? What are the main thoughts that you think every day? Are those thoughts about things that you want? Are those thoughts about things that you don't want? Are those thoughts about things that you could want? You know what I'm saying? Are you dreaming? Are you fantasizing? Are you are you analyzing and tearing people down? What are your thoughts? Or are you just thinking about your regular day-to-day life? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna eat tomorrow? What are your thoughts? What are your daily thoughts, individual thoughts, and what are your ideals? What would be your perfect standpoint in life? Where would you want to be in life? What do you desire? What's that thing that's burning inside of you? If you think about doing this one thing, it just makes your whole light, you just, it's just great. This is your ideal life. You would love to do it. It's your burning desire. And what are the actions that you are doing daily? What do you do daily? Do you get up and do you push your alarm and you're like, I don't want to get out of bed, and you're always late? Or are you always up on time in your routine? You have a routine, you're daily, you're always there. You know what I'm saying? You make it there on time and you're happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? What are your actions? Do these actions correspond with your thoughts and your ideals? And what conditions have arisen as a result of these thoughts, ideals, and actions? So this is where I want you guys to literally sit and take the time to write in your journals and actually think about these things. I want you to actually write it down. Write down what your thoughts are, what your ideals are, what your actions are, and the conditions that you are in today, or the conditions that you've been in the past that you really want to evaluate right now. So I really want you to write these down, and I want you to think about them. I'm going to continue right now. So it says, hence, a study of the creative processes of thought and how to apply them is the supreme importance to each one of us. So basically it's saying that we need to know what we're thinking, how we're creating our thoughts. Who, what, why, when, where, and how. You know what I'm saying? All those things are important when it comes to our thoughts. When we are aware, it's almost like bringing awareness to what we're thinking, right? If we're studying something, we're bringing awareness to it. So we're studying the creative processes of thought. So we're understanding why we think the way we do, how we think the way we do, you know what I'm saying? In what conditions are we thinking the way we do? I really want you to write these down. And how to apply them So how are we already applying them? How are we already applying our thoughts, and how do we eventually want to apply them? So we're getting our questions in right here, okay? So I want you guys to pause it and write those questions down. If you got to rewind it, go back, tap, you know what I'm saying, and rewind it and write these down. This is an interactive video, okay? All right, so this knowledge is the means whereby the evolution of human life on earth may be hastened and uplifted in the process. So basically, once you have a realization of what your thoughts are and how you apply your thoughts in your everyday life, you will basically accelerate your life. You will uplift your life, and you will just be moved. Like this whole couple paragraphs is about movement. So you'll basically just be shot through life, and you will be moved up, and you will be happy. It doesn't say that, but that's where I'm getting from. That's what I'm pulling from this. Okay, so it says, humanity ardently seeks the truth and explores every avenue to it. So I'm just going to read this whole paragraph. It says, ardently seeks the truth and explores every avenue to it. In this process, it has produced a special literature which ranges the whole gamut of thought, from the trivial to the sublime, up from divination through all the philosophies to the final lofty truth of the master key. So in this sentence, in this paragraph, or these 3 sentences, it's basically saying that in our seeking of truth, we have written so many books. We have made so many videos, written so many books. That's why we have so many different religions. That's why we have all these different spiritual practices. That's why we have so many philosophies. That's why we have math, science. All of these different things are basically truths. When you're reading a science book, that's a truth. And you can mix water with salt and you get a saline solution. You know what I'm saying? You have this specific formula to get you something else, and every time you do it, it gives you a certain result. That's a truth. If you read a literature, that's a person giving you a fiction, but it's a sense in a truth, because it is that person's imagination coming to life through that book. Also, religion is giving you a truth that a lot of people can resonate with. And also philosophies. The people have lots of different philosophies throughout life that resonate with certain people, and each person has their own truth. And on some level, most of the truths intersect and they align. But when people are outside of those truths, they basically there's a range, basically, is the point. There's a range, a whole gamut of thought, he says, from trivial, like the smallest thing, like which nail polish is the best, you know what I'm saying, or which side looks better in the mirror, you know what I'm saying, like small things, to most sublime things like spirituality. Who is God? You know what I'm saying? Most people want to know that truth. So humanity enthusiastically seeks the truth. And I know that this is why you're listening to this video, because it says to the final lofty truth of the master key, which is this book. So this is a truth that we all want to get into. Okay, so I'm going to continue, and it says the master key is here, given to the world as means of tapping the great cosmic intelligence and attracting from it that which corresponds to the ambitions and aspirations of each reader. So basically, this is saying that this book, the Master Key System, is going to help you understand the cosmic intelligence. It's going to help you tap into the cosmic intelligence. And anybody in the spiritual community knows this as God, Source, the universe. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you associate with a higher power, this is what this book is helping you get into it. And it's helping you attract from the higher power the things that help you get to where you want to be, your ambitions and your aspirations. So basically, you're tapping into God, and you're being able to get everything that you want from going to the source, from going to God. Okay, and this book will help you get there. Okay, so it's everything and institution we see around us created by human agency had first to exist as a thought in some human mind. Isn't that crazy? So this phone that I'm recording on, this laptop that I'm reading from, the money that I use every day, it's first started in somebody's mind. Like the shoes you wear, somebody thought about those shoes. Like they're like, my feet hurt, I need something to put under it. It all started as the institutions, schools. Somebody thought like, why don't we put a lot of people in a classroom and teach them how to do the basics of life? They said, hey, let's make a classroom. You know what I'm saying? It was a thought before somebody had a conversation with you. They thought like, hey, like what if I talk to X, Y, and Z and see what he or she thinks about X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. You know what I'm saying? They thought about it first. They're like, most people are impulsive. Some people are, you know what I'm saying? You got those people. But if it all started as a thought, right? And it says thought, therefore, is constructive. So that means you can build upon it, right? You can build on your thoughts. You can make your thoughts. If you think about a construction site, it starts with the foundation and it builds its way up. Or even if you think about constructing something simple like a paper airplane, you got to start with a piece of paper and you got to you got to do the folds and the creases. So it started out as a plain piece of paper, but as you constructed what you thought it was going to be, you had to move it, you had to crease it, you had to do some work, you had to put in some work, and you had to give it a thought. It had to start in your mind because you had to know what was there first. So I'm going to continue. It says, human thought is the spiritual power of the cosmos operating through its creature, man. So basically, it's like God operating through you. God is operating through man. He is imposing his power, the spiritual power, through you. The master key instructs the reader how to use that power, because all of us don't tap into it, right? How to use that power and to use it both constructively and creatively. So we're gonna use it in a way to build and create something new. So through the differentiation of power through us, we are creating and constructing. Okay, it says the things and conditions we desire to become realities we must first create in thought. The master key explains and guides the process. So basically, it just reiterates that we have to start everything, things and conditions. So your present condition today, whether you want to realize it or not, happened as a thought in your mind. Isn't that crazy? So you're sitting here listening to me, or you might be in a car driving. You thought about this. You created this in your mind. You're like, tomorrow I'm going to do this, or 10 minutes from now I'm going to do this. And it started in your mind as a thought. Now, this also, unfortunately or fortunately, if you want to use it in the way that it is meant to be used, which is to empower you, think that it's a very interesting thought to think that we create good and bad situations that happen into our lives. If it's a things and conditions we desire to become realities, we must first create in thought. So that means that the things that have already became a reality were once a thought. So that includes the bad and that includes the good things. So that means that we can change our thoughts and we can construct our thoughts to get where we want to go. I mean, that's a little bit going into the future, but that's basically what it's saying. So I'm going to continue, and it says the Master Key teaching has hitherto been published in the form of a correspondence course of 24 lessons delivered to the students, one per week for 4 weeks. Basically, this whole thing is saying that take your time and do each lesson one at a time. And read and reread, and like I was saying, write down what you think about these things. Actually sit there and understand what you're reading, and just take advantage of this. Do the work, because reading is one part. So there's 3 parts to understanding, or to actually being able to incorporate something in your life. You have to first know it, then you have to understand it. That's what the second part about it is. So the first part, I was reading what it said. You kind of know it after you read it. Then you understand it, which you go in and you dissect things, and you actually you understand it for what it is, and then you actually apply it to your life. So the application part is actually writing it down and actually doing those things, assessing your life, writing down the questions, writing down the answers to those questions, and assessing how that is affecting your life, and also applying it to your life. So you have to read, reread, and do the exercises at the end of each section, and you will undoubtedly change your life for the better. It says, if you do this, you will make the reader a greater, better personality and equipped with a new power to achieve any worthy personal purpose and a new ability to enjoy life's beauty and wonder. So basically, you will be able to enjoy what you want in life. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried not to make it as long as it is, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave comments below, like, comment, and subscribe. And I am very happy to be starting this new channel. All right, so have a great day.